Hey there, I'm Dr. Nerissa D'Silva, an allergist in Houston, Texas, and I'm going to guide you through the essential aspects of allergy testing and treatment. If you suspect an allergy to an environmental trigger like pollen or cat, or maybe even a food allergy, skin testing may be necessary to come up with a diagnosis and appropriate treatment plan. So if you think you are a candidate for allergy testing, make sure to talk to your doctor before coming in to stop certain medications like antihistamines, because they will interfere with the accuracy of the skin testing. Now, the skin test itself is a skin prick test, and it's usually placed on your forearms or back. So a typical visit will be that you'll come into clinic and we'll take your history of, what your symptoms are, how often you get them, is it year-round or seasonal, certain questions like that to really narrow down what we think you could potentially be allergic to. Same thing kind of goes with food. We'll just ask what happens, what symptoms you're having, and then once we determine that you are in fact a great candidate for allergy testing, we will then go ahead and place the allergy test. Now, the skin test itself, like I said, is pricks. For allergens in the environment, we have 60 pricks, and that will be testing for common allergens that are found around Houston, both indoor and outdoor. So things like tree pollens, weed pollens, grasses, cat, dogs, so those sorts of animals, and dust mite, also molds. So what we'll do is we'll place the test either on your forearm or your back. We'll wait about 15 minutes and then we'll come in and read the test. A positive test is if any one of those single allergens pops up with basically like a mosquito bite-like reaction. So it may be itchy for some, but it definitely is not painful. Now, a positive test doesn't necessarily mean you're allergic to XYZ allergen. That's when your clinical history that we took in the beginning will come into play, and we will then decide together if that really does make sense in the grand context of if you are truly allergic to that thing or not. For environmental allergens, if your skin prick is negative, sometimes we may go a little bit deeper, literally, with an intradermal test to really rule out and see if we have maybe missed anything. Sounds a little bit scarier than it is, but we usually save that one for big kids and adults. One more thing to note, negative skin tests are usually spot on when it comes to deciding whether or not you have an allergy or not. But a positive doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to blow up like a balloon anytime you eat that food. That's when that clinical history comes in. We can skin test as early as 2 years old, and that's really because for babies, they haven't seen all the seasons yet, right? So in their first year, they see all the seasons and their body's like, I maybe don't like this ragweed that I see. And then it's not until the second time around, when ragweed comes around the next fall, that you really will start developing symptoms. And so there's really no point in testing before 2 years old. Okay. Allergies may or may not get worse, and it depends on what allergy you're talking about. If you're talking about an environmental allergy, like the longer you say you move to Houston and all of a sudden 2 years in, you're blowing your nose and sneezing and you're always getting sick, that could get worse over time, or it might just stay the same. But honestly, I think the opposite is true when it comes to food allergies. A lot of kids who are diagnosed with, egg or milk allergies when they're younger will often outgrow them as they get older. Hope that clears things up a bit. If you have any questions or if you feel like you are a good candidate for allergy testing, feel free to make an appointment and we'll see you in clinic.